17 August 2021. Tuesday afternoon on top of the Montello, and there's no one around here. Just wait for this car to go by. I think there'll be shortly, with all this climate problem, bushfires, wild storms. Like last night we had a wild storm in my area. Rained hardly anything, but the wind was like cyclonic. Pulled down trees, damaged homes, roofs. People lived here all their lives and they've never seen anything like it. I don't know how long I've been recording temperatures and weather accurately, probably for about 50 years. Before that, we didn't have meteorology. I don't think wasn't very scientific. We haven't got any records from the 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, start of the 18th century to get more precise. I don't know. Anyway, I think there'll be assault on transport. Like people just get in the car and they just go over to that building there instead of walking or cycling like our grandparents and great-grandparents used to do. Just walk everywhere or ride their bikes. As you can see, beyond that first mountain range there, the second mountain range, that's Austria. So I'm planning to go there probably in August, September for a couple of days. I'll be just waiting for my second vaccination certificate. It's called a green pass. And I'll be able to go. Right now it's just valid for Italy. So I get the second vax. I got Saturday. And that hurt. The nurse, depends on what nurse she had. The first nurse, I hardly felt anything. I had to ask her, did I get it? She goes, yeah, and the second one pushed it right in. Still can feel pain there. Anyway, Saturday I went riding up this mountain. It's called Cima Grappa. It's about 1,700 meters. Just climbing, 2 hours of non-stop climbing. If you push hard, you're always in an anaerobic state. So it's good training. Felt great, never attacked it so well. I got to about 3 k's from the top. Oh, my hips started to hurt. Never had this feeling before, and a headache. I knew it didn't take two to Einstein to figure out it was the vaccine having an effect on me. Anyway, virus, if you got the virus, it just stays in you forever. If you've got the HIV, it's there forever. If you've got the herpes virus, it's there forever. Chickenpox virus, it's there forever. It's when your immune system's compromised. It's when it comes out, we get sick. Or you have vitamin D deficiencies. This is what I've read. Anyway, just a couple of hardcore cyclists hanging around like myself. Good weather today, 29 degrees, nice and cool. That's the church. They normally have a mass every second day here. This is a commemorative church for the First World War here. I'm always drawn back to this area. It just fascinates me what went on here. Austrian, Hungarians, Slovaks, and Italians trying to hold on to the empire. For every 1,000 Austrian soldiers, there was 280 so-called foreigners, which means Hungarians, Slovaks, Germans, Czechs. There was also Italians. There was 18 to 20 Italians for every 1,000 Austrian soldiers. Because when you think about it, 1861 was when Italy was unified, so-called, and I don't think a lot of people here like that very much. They spoke their own language, Veneto. Italian was foreign. A lot of the people from the south had what the northern people thought were Arab sort of blood connections, so they were just completely ethnically different. So my great-grandfather, a lot of people that lived around this area probably would have sided with the empire. Not all of them, but quite a substantial. Like I said, there was for every 1,000 Austrians, 20 Italians fighting on the part of the empire. They wanted to maintain it. They probably liked the way it was run and didn't trust because the Italian state was only like 40, 45 years old. He was very young. It would have been generations of people here still alive in their 70s or 80s, old people who'd never lived under an Italian state. They just lived in Veneto or under the Austrian-Hungarian Empire before that, Veneto. So a combined Italian state with Sicilians, people from Campania, Basilicata, they spoke different languages, different culture, they had different food, had different attitude. Things are changing again here now. Like, you'll see, when I came here 16 years ago, these young kids had grown up, a lot of them, well, they speak a better Italian than I do, but they're not really assimilated, they haven't really assimilated into Italian culture. They still eat their own food, they have a different social attitude, social behaviour when they're outside to Italians. And they behave differently, and they react differently to, like, I don't know, if you get into an argument with them, they react physically, whereas an Italian will argue verbally, and a Moroccan will start probably throwing punches at you. I think that's quite normal in his country. Same with a Nigerian. These are things you notice. So I teach a lot of kids, you notice the difference is like green and black. Just to use a banal example. Anyway, spectacular scenery here. As you can see, just want to mention once again, allegedly he's got 100,000 views. He does pretty good stories. He gives interesting facts. But his panoramic panning of the landscape, there's always seascapes, and it's always California, and it's always beaches. Where I am, I think it's just beyond belief. It's pretty spectacular. With the exception of these telephone towers. Well, what can you do? Everyone wants phone coverage, so you got to have them. Apart from that, if you go down into the valley, it's even better. I come out here just to to relax, and it really works. You go for a bike ride down to the countryside, like, it clears your mind. It really does. Beats alcohol, beats drugs, beats pornography, beats sitting home and negative thoughts. It beats watching commercial TV, especially commercial news, which always mishandles the truth. Don't take anything they say as true on a commercial TV station. You've got to find out for yourself. Dig for the truth. Even YouTube's getting to a stage where, well, they often demonetize people, take views off, censorship. So it's hard to express your opinion these days. I mean, look, the American Republic was founded on freedom of expression, and that's been nullified today. Anyway, I think because once again you get in this repeating historical cycle of centralization that breaks up centralization. Soviet Union, once again, excellent example. It became too centralized. 12 republics, Ukrainians, say again, Belarusians, Uzbekistan, Ukrainians, I mean, under one central power, just eventually broke up. And the same thing will happen again. It's like with Germany. Germany took them ages to unify them. They all spoke a similar language in 1870 when they went to war with France. They unified. Saxony, the Saxons were different to the Bavarians, who were different to the Prussians. The Saxons people from Saxony hated the Prussians. They used to fight all the time. Same with the Bavarians. Even in the First World War, they all had this different regions. You're from Bavaria, you're from Saxony, you're from Prussia. And then they unified. But then, look at the example of Vietnam. The Chinese took 1,000 years. It took them 1,000 years to try and culturally reintegrate them into Chinese culture, and they failed. 1,000 years. So nobody knows that because we never look up Asian history. It's very interesting. Everyone studies in the West European history to a large extent. But the Vietnamese were never converted to the Chinese culture or never integrated. They always maintained their independence. Anyway, we might see that. So we're going to have a one world government. I don't know about that. We could have a species that break away from the Earth, like Elon Musk intends to do, take 500 people to colonise Mars. Could be interesting. If he said, "Do you want to come?" I might do it. 55. I don't think I'm going to live very well more than 30 years. Probably the next 20 years I'll live pretty well physically. In the last 5 or 10 years, probably be tough going, unless I maintain my health regime and look after myself. Like my father, he spent a good decade, a lot of pain, someone from his 80 to 90 years of age, didn't live very well. I don't want to be like that. Anyway, until next time, have a good day.